everybody, and welcome to WhyBuy. Let's talk about the Fender Telecaster. I wanted a Telecaster, and I was working at a part-time job for an electronics store, and we got staff discounts, and that at the time the store partnered with Fender and they were distributing Fender products. And as soon as that word came down the pipeline, I'm like, oh man, I wonder if they have the Telecaster and which models. And sure enough, the one that was available was this 60th anniversary edition. And I looked at it and I'm like, you know what? That looks really good. I was able not only to get the Telecaster, but I could also get the Princeton Reverb. It's actually a video I did a little bit ago, and I've been wanting to talk about this guitar for a long time because sometimes I think when you're guitar shopping, you commit, you buy one, you get it home, and after that kind of rush of that impulse wears off, you realize you made a mistake, and there's just little things you find that you're like, it's just disappointing. But I've had this for a long time now, and after playing this guitar for so many years, it's still my go-to. I don't know a lot about, the construction of guitars, but thankfully I do know someone who does. I have a brother who not only knows more about guitars than anyone I've ever met, but he builds them too. And we just kind of geek out and talk about guitars, and we were talking about it the other day, and he's pointing out a lot of things to me that I didn't know that they updated. So you could compare, this 60th anniversary to what is a modern American Standard Telecaster. There isn't a lot that they changed for it aside from this commemorative plaque. And for example, the truss rod, I had no idea on vintage Tellies that it was actually located at right by the pickups, which was very uncomfortable. I think they had to design it that way because of some sort of patent on a design from another guitar. But now in their new design, it's at the top, or even putting a saddle on it from a Strat that's adjustable. And this isn't a vintage replica. This is a commemorative. But yeah, I plugged it in, I started playing, and I'm like, yeah, that's the sound I wanted. And one of my fears when I ordered this was that, am I only going to be able to play a particular style or genre of that sound? I like to be able to have that flexibility. Honestly, I use a Scarlet i2, which is like this interface you can plug your guitar into, and that mixed with GarageBand, and like I think I've done everything from like that kind of classic rock style, kind of some funk, whatever, just screwing around. I even think I tried some dubstep too. So a lot of the times, when I describe playing it to people, it's like, oh, it feels really good. Well, what does that mean? And, talking again to my brother, and a couple of things that he pointed out, because I said, it feels like the spacing of everything, it feels very comfortable to play. I have lots of room to be able to isolate and focus on strings and on frets. He said, well, it's probably, your nut at the top where it's not always the same amount of space between the strings, because depending on the gauge and how, I sound like an idiot trying to describe it just because I don't know. Anyways, what that ends up with is that it feels natural. When you're playing, the distribution and the distance between the strings just feels good, as I would describe it. One thing that I like is with the newer neck, you get kind of that flatter radius that you can be very surgically precise. And I think, for the style of playing, at least that I do, it's one of the more comfortable guitars. I think the best thing about this guitar is that I've brought it to play with people who are at my skill level or even just beginning, or people who are way more skilled than I am, and everybody knows what it is. It's that kind of, you know, iconic, the sound, it's special. It's a really cool, special guitar. And if you're wondering what the fuss is all about, I highly suggest you go play one, and, you know, bring your wallet. You'll probably end up buying one. So if you thought this video was helpful, please like and subscribe and show your support, and thanks for watching.
Mm-hmm.